Oh, there's no Grant.
Oh, Grant disappeared. Hi, everybody.
No, it cut out right when it was doing the intro. It booted me off the show.
Well,
and I'm going.
Lots of people want to boot you off the show. But
I know. Oh yeah, no shit. All right, so we're going to start from here. Here we go. Welcome to the Contrarians. Tonight we are live. It's Wednesday, and it's the Contrarians live chat. Our topic tonight: Spaced, a better title track for that cover. We want to hear from you in the chat. If you don't know what we're talking about, you soon will. Let's do it. Hey, everybody, we are live. It's Wednesday, and I hear myself.
Yeah, you're sounding good over here.
Well, hold on.
Are you echoing?
No, I got echo cancellation on. It's not me. All right. Somebody, hold on. Swear to God.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Test.
Everybody good?
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let me start over. Welcome. It's.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Welcome to the Contrarians, everyone.
Absolutely. Let's give him a second, and we'll speak for him if he doesn't come back. I think it'd be recording, right?
Yeah, we must be.
Here he goes. There he goes.
Yeah, but all right. Screw the damn intro, everybody. Topic for tonight: Spaced, a better title track for that cover. So you've seen a lot of album covers where you're going, well, couldn't they have picked like a better name for the album cover, or maybe a track off the record that would be better? That's what the idea is. So I muted Jamie because I think he was the weak link in the, but I've unmuted him.
Oh, Jamie came up with this idea. It was his deal.
It was me.
No, this was.
Oh, I don't know who came up with it. I'm just saying that I'm
pretty sure it was me.
Okay.
It was Mr. Durling tonight.
All right.
The elder says,
"Oh no." StreamYard is, I'm telling you, it used to seem like it was just me that had trouble with this platform, but apparently not.
Yeah.
You
it's
think
better.
Booting me out. All right. What I'm going to do, you guys continue. I'm going to reboot my computer. You guys will still keep going.
All right. Well, let's start recording and all that. Okay. All right.
And by the time you get back, it'll be your turn.
Yeah.
Tim?
Maybe.
We'll go first.
Okay.
Let me reboot because this is weird. It just goes into an error, and I get an error screen. It says like error 5, number 5. I don't know what that is.
Well, we'll just try continue without you. So Tim, take it away.
All right. So yeah, I think it was, and I'll start with the album cover, and I've got them all here with me anyway. Yeah, just like Grant said, I thought, there's probably a song on whatever album we pick that's probably more appropriate to the cover art. And this one's a joke, but it kind of isn't. I picked Aerosmith, and this is Get Your Wings from 1974. But if you look at those guys, I'm getting a reflection from the CD case. Let's hold up the booklet. If you look at those guys, you tell me if they don't look spaced to you, which is, of course, one of the songs on the album. Now, there are pictures of them from this period that are more spaced than this, but I mean, look at Brad Whitford here. I mean, he looks really spaced, and from my understanding, Tyler had Tuinals in his scarf, so they weren't spaced yet. They were going to be.
Yeah, it's just a terrible album cover. Period. Right? It's just so downer. It's just so depressing.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's a great album, and there's no excitement to it. So the next one has a good title. I just think it could have a better title. Of course, it's Def Leppard, Pyromania, which, Pyromania, fire. But if you look at that cover, that building is literally coming under fire. So I thought that would be a better title for this. And my third and last one for this turn, I know this is an album Martin's particularly fond of. I quite like it too, from 2003. ZZ Top, Mescalero. Now, maybe not everybody knows what Mescalero means, but everybody knows what liquor means. And there's a song on this album, a hilarious song, last song on the album, called Liquor. So those are my first 3 choices for tonight.
Wicked. Good. Yeah, Get Your Wings. Now that I think about it more, it reminds me a little bit of that rant that I do sometimes about Back in Black, where you think of the music on there. It is so up-tempo and party rock, and generally speaking, right? That you put a really bright, happy orange celebratory front cover on that album, and it just completely changes the complexion of the songs, I think, on that. And that's a similar thing to Back in Black. Whereas
like a very somber band shot.
Yeah.
They could have just put that Primitive Wings logo and called it a day.
Yeah, exactly.
And if there was no Pyromania, they called it something else. That probably would not have started the trend of those one-word titles, and there probably would have been no
That's true too.
area. All would have.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, Grant, do you want me to go next? Because I will need some.
Go. I'm ready. Go.
ZZ Top Loco, El Loco.
Yeah.
Okay, so with this one, I think it's a cool title. I mean, it goes along with all their stuff, but I don't think it looks particularly El Loco. I thought, there's a song in here called Heaven, Hell, or Houston, which would have been pretty cool. I always thought that was a completely catchy sort of thing, like their tone, taste, and tenacity. I don't know if I get the order of the words right, but I really like that Heaven, Hell, or Houston idea. So I think that would have been a cool title for this one. And then Ramones' Rocket to Russia. I love the title, and I think what we're going to see with these covers and with these titles, mostly on the show, you're going to see a theme where it's almost like that whole that Robert Plant thing, where Robert Plant would use the real estate of the song title to just say something completely different that isn't even in the lyrics, and we don't know what the heck he's talking about. Now, that made for a lot of Robert Plant songs where you don't really remember what's going on, right? But it's like, yes, I'm not going to waste this space and just repeat something from the chorus or whatever. And I get that feeling out of a cover like this, calling it Rocket to Russia. I think Rocket to Russia is a great title, but there's a song in here called Do You Want to Dance? And I thought that would have been a little funnier for this, with all the guys, scared of the girls in high school, standing up against the wall, right? Kind of thing. So yeah, I think Do You Want to Dance would have been cool in here, and it would have tied them a little more to their 60s kind of girl group sort of vibe that they have. And then my final one for the first three is Violent Femmes, Why Do Birds Sing? I do have my CD of that. So yeah, I was just actually playing this again today, just to get ready for this, and I was surprised that I recognized and remembered all the songs from this, because it is actually a pretty early album of theirs. And I got to meet all three of these guys at Massey Hall. It was really cool. But yeah, calling that Why Do Birds Sing is kind of weird. I thought Look Like That would be pretty cool for this, because she's covering his eyes up, kind of thing. So there you go. That's my first three. And let's take a quick look over to the comments. We haven't done that yet. See who's here. We got Henry right here. We got Tim's Vinyl Confession with us.
Holy crap, look at that.
Laverthy says, West Coast Dave, the Elder of Rock. Nathan's here. Steve Polari's here. Jan, let's see. So yeah, any good now you know the concept, right? So yeah, look at some of your albums and just see if there's a better title on there. We've got Brad coming in with Black Label Society, Stronger Than Death. What does that even mean? Isn't everything stronger than death? Should have used Super Terrorizer. Pretty cool. All right, let's go over to Jamie.
I don't think anything's stronger than death. He gets us all.
I like Motorhead Killed by Death. That's one of my favorite Motorhead songs. I just think that's a hilarious title too.
I guess. Grant, you still getting error number 5?
Yeah. It's something to do with Google. I wonder if I could do this on Safari.
All right. Well, don't blow up the whole show while you're trying.
It won't. You guys will keep going, because I'm the only one that can stop the show.
All right. Okay, Jamie.
First one is Mott the Hoople. Now they already have an album called Mott the Hoople, and now this one's called Mott, and things start getting confusing. So you have this woman on here, and maybe her name is Alice. So they could have called it Alice. This would be Alice sitting there.
Absolutely.
Where is it?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Positive Holy.
Damn.
Yeah, right? You got the wrong one anyway. So
yeah,
this was not the right one. I thought you said Mott the
I said
Hoople.
Mott, not Mott the Hoople. You see how confusing it is? I made my
Yeah, I
point.
know they have different album covers for various things. Yeah.
Oh well, damn it.
House of the Holy that doesn't even have the song House of the Holy on it, so it's not a bad album title, but maybe you should either put the song on here or change the title. And you got these weirdo creepo kids on the cover, and they are going over the hills and far away.
Nice. And there's no houses either, right? So
Yeah.
No, there's no houses on there.
yeah, Giant's Causeway, right? Isn't that what that's
My
called?
next one is kind of like the Mott the Hoople one. So in 1994, Oingo Boingo changed their name to Boingo, and they did a self-titled album called Boingo. So you got the wrong one up there, but that's all right.
Damn it again.
Using it because Oingo Boingo did an album called Boingo with a dash in the middle of the boy and go. This one is Boingo with no dash, but the band's now called Boingo. Took away the Oingo. So things don't make it self-titled because we already got this Oingo. Call it Insanity.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Great.
My choices are all much easier than these choices.
All right,
Very
go
easy.
for it. Better go for it while the going's good.
God, if it works. Okay, here we go. Let's look at this wonderful record. Metallica, Ride the Lightning. I don't see anybody ride any. Well, I guess you could ride. You could see Ride the Lightning, but I'm going to change it to Fade to Black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Because what's the end game here? Well,
Yeah.
Fading to Black, ladies and gentlemen. Here's another dandy record that a lot of people think very highly of. Now you're going to have to give me some. What would you have called this? Pink Floyd Animals. I'm going to call it Pigs, and of course it's got in parentheses. All right, 3 different ones. So I guess I'm going to call it Pigs, 3 different ones. But there's only one pig. But hey,
you could just call it
better
Pig.
than Animals.
Yeah.
Maybe. It's a stretch. And here's one of the albums by the band the Pixies, well thought of record, Doolittle. But we're going to rename the album Monkey Goes to Heaven because it's got monkey on the front.
Absolutely.
Got a halo.
And a halo. So why wasn't it called Monkey Goes to Heaven?
Yeah. Yeah.
See how easy that was.
But it is cool, eh? These extra titles, they do make better use of the real estate. They make us think, right? So that's a cool thing about them, right? Doolittle's a very catchy title. What a great album as well. So, all right,
Great
over
minds.
to Tim.
That's a good one. Queen, All Dead for News of the World. I mean,
Well, great minds, Jan. Great minds think alike.
Very cool.
okay. Peter's
All right,
arrived.
let me fix this shot real quick since Peter's here.
So my next 3, this one, I mean, people know this was a contractual thing that Mushroom Records did, so they just kind of threw it out. So it's Heart and Magazine. Well, this cover has nothing to do with a magazine, but there is a musical note. So why not call it I've Got the Music in Me? Because there's a version of that on here.
Sweet.
First one there. Next one, love this album cover. And I guess it makes sense. I'll do the whole gatefold experience, but Boston, Don't Look Back. But, where are they looking back from? So there's a song in here called The Journey. So why not call it The Journey? Because obviously they're going somewhere.
I think The Journey would be better because look, they're there on a new planet, checking it out. It makes total sense.
And finally, got to talk about these guys. So Kansas Left Overture. But he looks pretty baffled and he looks pretty old. So why not call it Questions of My Childhood?
Oh, nice.
That's better.
Yeah.
Leftoverture is such a classy, cool
Oh,
title.
it is. It's a great title. But
It is.
For the sake of those are my next.
Yeah. Cool. Why don't we let Peter catch up with his first 3?
No problem. The first one I'm going to do is Wendy O. Williams and the band Plasmatics, and I'm talking about the album Coup d'Etat. And I thought
out again. God. Sorry, go Peter. I'm ready.
Yep. So this is a photo of them on a tank, and I thought the album cover, maybe the album should be called Path of Glory, which was one of the songs. A lot more heroic, a lot more out there than Coup d'Etat. So That's my
Nice.
first one for today's show.
Okay.
For today's show.
Okay.
Next one, Rose Tattoo. Now this is kind of interchangeable. I don't mind the title of this album called Scarred for Life, but there is a song on this album called Branded. So you could easily title this album Branded because of obviously they're all tattooed and band of brothers and all united. So that could be an interchangeable title song for the name of the album.
Nice.
And the next one is the legendary hardcore punk band GBH. And The Sea of Madness is the name I'd like to call this album because it's one of the songs. They've called this album Midnight Madness and Beyond, which is a little bit, a few too many words, a bit wordy. But I think The Sea of Madness is a little bit of a tougher and scarier sort of album title. And they're all eyes of serial killers. So just to give you a little bit of a heads up. So
there's a bunch
very
of
stark imagery.
Yeah. Bunch of ellipses in there too, which is very annoying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So my next three, I'm going with Manic Street Preachers, Gold Against the Soul. There's your Manic Street Preachers album. And number one, I've never liked that title. It's just too pretentious sounding and too uppity for this band. They are a gritty. This album in the old days, people actually kind of compared this band a little bit to Guns N' Roses at the time, which is crazy because they really polished up and got lighter as time went on. But there is a song on here called Roses in the Hospital, which makes a lot more sense. You got the roses on there. But yeah, it reminds me a little bit actually of the Pixies Doolittle one, where you really do have that monkey gone to heaven on the cover. And this is kind of like, well, that's like the 45 sleeve of Imagined of Roses in the Hospital. But yeah, I never liked that Gold Against the Soul. It just sounded too upscale for the gritty, cool nature, alternative, subversive, creative nature of this band. Next, I'm going with Yes Drama. And there's the great cover. Very, very cool. Roger Dean. I love the understatedness of the colors on here. It's a little less cartoony. But there's a song on here called Run to the Light. And I thought that was kind of cool, like with these guys frolicking and running. That was really cool. Drama just always struck me as, I mean, it's okay, but to me, drama is more like you got to have human beings in there. It's almost like a city sort of title and not a country wilderness sort of title. So I went with Run Through the Light for that. And Night Ranger, by the way, I think somebody has a Night Ranger book out here that's brand new. Is that the case? There we go. Very nice. Yeah, Tim's been cranking out the books, but yeah, new Night Ranger book from Tim. But yeah, Night Ranger 7 Wishes. There is a song on here called Night Machine, which I think would have been better. I don't know what 7 Wishes has to do anything other than it's festooned on the side of the thing. But yeah, Night Machine. We've shown this. This covers come in handy for a lot of purposes over the course of episodes of this show.
And Martin, if you ever noticed, and someone pointed this out to me, the album title is the number 7 Wishes, but the song title 7 is spelled out. That's just the type of thing that you love, right?
Yeah, that's annoying. I noticed Spine is fine though. Spine still says 7.
But the song title, when it's written out, it's
yeah,
spelled.
I know. I see that. Yeah, crazy.
I don't get it. But.
Yeah. All right. Quick look over to the comments here. Porcupine Tree Deadwing could be called Arriving Somewhere, but not here. It's a stretch. Lol. Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here. Have a Cigar. Welcome to the Machine. Yeah, Welcome to the Machine would have been perfect. For that. Wish You Were Here. Yeah, it is kind of weird one for that. I never liked that title. It's I don't like these titles that are a bunch of boring words put together kind of thing. It's got to have something flashy in it, I think, for a title. Def Leppard, On Through the Night, retitled Rock Brigade. Yeah, could have been cool with that.
Would work.
That truck on there. Okay, so over to Jamie.
Did Tim go? Did you do your second 3?
I don't think he did.
Oh, well, no, he did. He did because Peter hadn't come on yet. So now we're in perfect sync.
We're all screwed up at this point.
No. Now we're all on our second 3.
All mixed up. Don't know what to do. Little 311. Was it 311? Yeah. Next one is one of those weird album covers. Little Feet, Dixie Chicken.
Mhm.
For years, I would always think there's a chicken on the cover, and then I'd look at it and go, "Oh, that's right, there is no chicken on there." It's always reminding me.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, there is a song called Juliet. Again, kind of like Alice. It could be
Nice.
Juliet.
Nice.
So there you go. There's my final copy. Alice Cooper. Hey, stupid. Oh shit! I busted out "Raise Your Fist and Yell" by mistake.
Oh.
Anyway,
It's kind of the same thing. You're
yeah,
okay.
it's all the same. All that era is the same. Thing.
Yeah.
Same album over and over. Like 3 times over. "Hey, Stupid" could have been called "Snakebite," because "Hey, Stupid" is a stupid name for an album. It doesn't sound serious. It sounds like a Weird Al Yankovic album.
Yeah.
And the way it's spelled.
Oh, it's Snake.
Yeah.
There's a
Bad.
snake there.
Yeah. This
And-
reminds me of the Maiden cover where you get the claymation version of Eddie, right? It's kind of the same kind of thing. Is it Virtual 11 or X Factor? It's X Factor, right?
Yeah, X Factor's the one Hugh Syme did.
Yeah, yeah. So
Well,
yeah,
my next
terrible
one-
cover. Wow.
Terrible cover. Wasn't this
one-
MCA too? Was this on MCA?
No, this was the second Epic one. This is after
Oh,
Trash.
this is epic. Okay.
Terrible album.
Terrible album, terrible cover.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, my next one is an album I always forget what the hell it's called. So I wish they would have just done me a favor and called it what I call it. I call this album Lola, and then I stopped there because Lola versus Power Man and the Money Go Round Part 1 is too wordy. You could have called it the Money Go Round too, since there's like things going around his head. Either one, Lola or just the Money Go Round. And I have a original copy there. You know it's original when everything is blue. When it's black like that, you have a second.
Wow. Good for you.
So there you go.
Very nice.
It's been a
Very
long
nice.
time to find that in the wild.
Yeah. Love the Kinks. We don't talk about the Kinks enough, eh?
No,
we really should talk about them more, but cool. All right, over to Peter.
Okay, this is an Australian pop singer that you may not have heard of, but she's got one of the best voices in the country, Deborah Conway. And this album's called Bitch Epic. And she's actually covered in Nutella. So the album's called Bitch Epic, but I think it should have been called I'm Not Satisfied because she wants to have her cake and eat more. And there's actually all these different sort of photos of her eating cake while being covered in Nutella. So it's
Nice.
Oh, is that
I
what
love it.
that is?
I love the album cover. I think it makes a big statement.
Nice.
Next one is a band called Goanna. This is like a folky version of Midnight Oil. They talked about a lot of Indigenous topics, a lot of social, political Australian topics. And the album, actually, the Australian version of the album was called Spirit of Place, but I would have called it Solid Rock. And you picked up the US version and it's called Solid Rock.
I have no idea.
That's okay. That's okay. So that's the album title it should be, in my opinion.
There,
But in
I made it
Australia-
like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But in Australia, it was called Spirit of Place, which is not quite as good. And Solid Rock was the big hit of this album, went top 5 in Australia. Next album, one of my favorite all-time Australian bands of all time, The Church and the magnificent Heyday. I reckon the song on this album that should have been the title is Myrrh. Simply, it's got that sort of Oriental, Middle Eastern feel to it. So Myrrh.
Yeah. This brings up a point, Peter. Like, just like we talk about certain band names that you can't get it out of your head and it gets associated with the band so much that you forget that it's a lousy band name, like the Police or the Cars sort of thing. I can never picture this album as being anything other than Heyday. And I do like the title, even though it is so inappropriate, right? It doesn't make sense at all. But yeah, what a great album, great band for sure.
Yeah, it's probably their best.
Okay. How about this? Jan's got a good idea. What about mismatched album covers and album titles? Fleetwood Mac's Mirage could have been called Tango in the Night.
So we'll have to just go for pairs from the same
That's
band.
a good, Jan,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
on
that's
it.
a
That's
good
a good
Yeah,
idea.
I think we'll do that next time.
That's a
sounds
great
good.
idea.
That's
Keep
a
them
good
coming,
one.
everybody. Keep them
Nice.
coming.
Excellent. All right, on to Grant.
All right. Let's see. Well, we'll see if we stay up for a while. All right. Oh, this is low-hanging fruit, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, look at.
Go off the Grant.
I was going to tell him, go fast. You've got. Let's time them next time. I think it's about. I don't know.
Keep
I'm
going.
back.
Keep going.
You have to give me like a minute because you never know when it's going to do it. All right.
Go.
So, okay, here we go. Shit. Aerosmith, the debut album. This should have been called Dream On. Look at it. The
Nice.
Clouds.
Yeah.
Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Clouds. Come on.
They look
Nice.
pretty spaced in that photo too.
Yeah.
This
Terrible
one,
cover.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's better, the reissue cover or this?
They're both pretty bad.
I like that one there because there's more happening than just the big band shot. With featuring Dream On emblazoned on it.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go with Nirvana now, In Utero.
Yeah.
And when I think about it, and you think of the video that was accompanying this whole thing of heart-shaped box and the graphics, I think heart-shaped box would work for this.
Yeah, In Utero's kind of this whole album has just a pall cast over it based on the suicide more than anything, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a weird title. We know it's a difficult album anyways, right? So
I don't know. If I'm going to play Nirvana, this is the record I'm playing.
Yeah, pretty much. I love Bleach. I got a soft spot
Voice
for
of
Bleach.
3. So
Yeah.
All right. My final one. Okay, now I'm going to show the original album cover because I'm basing it off of that. So I'm going to go with Guns N' Roses. God, no, people are.
Oh, we've lost him.
what do you think he's going to call it? Think of a song on there.
He's going to probably say Guns N' Roses.
How to get?
I
How
know
to
he
get
hates
me.
Guns N'
Welcome to
Roses.
the jungle, maybe.
I swear to God, the Chrome is trying to kill me. I wish.
Trying to guess what you were going to
We're all
call it.
guessing on your title. What is it?
I think I'm calling it because look at the cover. What is that? A junkie? What was that? A prostitute? What was it? Remind me.
Well, it's banned. It got changed very quickly.
I would call this "Welcome to the Jungle"
Okay,
All right.
well, you had it.
because
That was my guess.
it looks like the jungle to me. Inner city,
Yeah.
mayhem, drugs, prostitution.
Yeah.
Welcome to the
Concrete
jungle.
Jungle.
All right.
Jungle. All right, there you go.
Okay,
I made it through it.
On to Tim.
Okay. This is the third time this guy's been mentioned tonight. Tonight, it's a Joe Perry project.
All right.
The album's called I've Got the Rock and Rolls Again. But look how smug our guy looks here. I think it should be called No Substitute for Arrogance.
Oh yeah.
Oh, come on now.
Just full of confidence, even though he's got that hat. You picture Joe Perry wearing that cap there. But anyway.
Yeah.
You know why he has that confidence, Tim? Because that first album was so damn good.
Yeah, I agreed.
But this wasn't as good.
Next one, Grant will appreciate this. April Wine.
Of course, 100%.
The album's called Attitude, but shouldn't it have been called Here's Looking at You, Kid?
Yeah.
Well, that's Miles Goodwin's kid,
Yeah.
or it was. Well,
It
not kid
still
now.
is.
Still is. He's
Yeah.
Anyway, next up. Now, the title of this is pretty good. Come Out and Play. But I thought Out on the Streets, this looks pretty street to me with the manhole cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And finally, Jamie set this one up, so I'm going to take it the rest of the way. I got the wrong one out. But hopefully Grant's got the graphic.
I got it.
So Jamie mentioned Houses of the Holy should have been called Over the Hills and Far Away. That's a house, or that's a dwelling. That should be called Houses of the Holy, and it's got the song Houses of the Holy on it.
That's what it should have been called.
That's my last.
100%.
100%.
You know the main reason it should have been called that? Because I've spent my whole life, I've probably wasted 4 to 5 hours of my life having to recheck how to spell graffiti over and
two
over
F's,
and
one
over
T.
again,
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. Either that one or porno graffiti. I always have to check. So 2 T's and 2 F's and 1
Drives
F.
me nuts. Drives me nuts. Okay, so my final 4. I'm starting with The Cult. The Cult. I always hated that this album was called The Cult. I don't like these late self-titled albums. But yeah, with that cover, I thought a cool one on here, a song on here is Emperor's New Horse. So I know it's a evil looking ram kind of thing, but that would have been a little funnier and a little cooler. But yeah, I don't. To me it's a great cover. But yeah, just calling it the cult drove me a little crazy. And speaking of drive me crazy, the Peter Gabriel albums, all no titles on any of them, right? So this is colloquially called Melt. But I think a cool title for this would have been No Self-Control, because he's lost control of his face. So I think that would have been pretty cool. But yeah, I don't like that these were all called Peter Gabriel, 3 in a row. And then the fourth one is even worse because no one's sure if that's also called Peter Gabriel or it's called Security, right?
Right. The record label pressured
Depends
him
on
into
what
giving
country
it
you're in.
Security.
Yeah, so he's got like 3.5 albums called Peter
Yeah.
Gabriel, which is even more bizarre. Okay, so on to my favorite Iggy Pop album of all time, New Values from 1979. I don't know what any of this has to do with New Values, Iggy in a ballet studio, but there is a song on here called Don't Look Down. So it looks kind of cool, like maybe he's about to go over a cliff of some sort or whatever. But yeah, Don't Look Down. I think that's one of the ones that Bowie covered later on as well, right?
Yes.
But yeah, we've got Curiosity on here. Billy is a Runaway would have been good too. Tell Me a Story wouldn't have been bad, because you can make up your own story for this. But New Values is like one of the worst ones. We've got Girls, we've got I'm Bored. Most of them would have been pretty cool. 5'1" even. But I love this album to death. And then just for kicks, I took out Zombie Birdhouse, which I thought was pretty crazy. This could have been called The Villagers. But also Soldier. I don't think this has anything to do with Soldier or anything like that. But I don't know what's a good one here. Anyway, so there's a bunch of those. Those are my favorite years for him, kind of thing. These Arista years. And then my final one is Robert Plant, Now and Zen. And I'm picking on that title because I don't like the title. It's punny, number one, and Zen is just kind of like a hip weird thing, and Robert Plant doesn't seem particularly Zen. So it's pretentious and punny at the same time. But there is a song on here called Billy's Revenge, and that's a little more enigmatic and cool, and I think that would have been a good title for that one. So that is my last one.
Real quick, though, because I wanted to make a comment about Iggy Pop. If anybody knows Iggy, can someone take him inside and make...
Oh,
there we go.
No, we can't.
Captive audience. We're hanging on his every word.
Yes.
Martin, that Robert Plant album's a little bit
on a shirt,
isn't it? That a little bit of a doppelganger with that album with the flags, isn't it?
Sorry, with which one?
You know, the Thin Lizzy album that had
Renegade.
Yeah, Renegade like.
Yeah, pretty cool. Grant, your thought? What were you saying?
I was saying that if anybody can get a hold of Iggy, please have him put on a shirt.
Those
recent concert appearances. I know he's got scoliosis. That's a horrible.
He's starting to look pretty rough now. Yeah,
he's looking pretty rough, and I think it's time to wear a shirt.
Yeah. Okay, on to Jamie. Final four.
That cult album, I might go with Black Sun because it's kind of
Black Sun would be good.
That'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool.
All right, Golden Earring, Mutan, which is a stupid cover. That's the cover you got?
That's one of the
What
covers.
country is that from?
What? This is the U.S. cover.
The other one's not any good either. Yeah.
And if you look, it looks like Candy's going bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
for sure
going bad. That could be Candy.
Yeah.
And my next one is it's the stupidest album title I have on my list. It's 10 years after Shh.
Oh, yeah.
Or however you want to say it.
Totally annoying.
It's not even shh. It
looks like an Uriah Heep album cover.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. But you kind of got that disturbing look there, so it could be called Bad Scene.
Yeah.
Or Bad Acid.
Yeah.
High School Art Project.
It's stoner little band, kind of a stoner band. They remind me of a more modern Jefferson Airplane, and they're called Black Mountain. And this is one of their albums right there, and it's called Wilderness Heart. But there's a song on there called old fangs. Sharks
Nice.
are old, and they kind of got fangs.
There you go.
Nice.
And this album just came out a month ago.
Oh,
Maybe not even. Yeah, about 4 weeks ago. This is Murder by Death, and this is they've been around for 25 years, and this is probably like their 12th, 11th album, maybe 10th, something like that. And there's a house there. But they're retiring, so they say. I don't believe them. But it's called Egg and Dart, which is kind of a stupid title. And this is your final album. Why not call it the song that's on here, So Long?
Nice.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
do they have a
And,
song called "Tear Me Down" on there?
No.
Damn
And,
it.
and in typical rock and roll fashion, probably somewhere someone's going to put egg, A-N-D, dart. And it might be on the spine and it might be on the
Well, I
record.
had to look.
In the old days, always are screwing that stuff up constantly. Yeah. Cool. All right. Was that 4?
That was 4.
Okay. On to Australia.
Okay, the final 4. This is Rainbow Final Vinyl, and I thought this would be better if they call it Spotlight Kid, because I think Richie always thought he was the Spotlight Kid, and has a bit of an illustration of that that sort of album cover.
Yeah.
Next one is the Australian ARR act Mondo Rock. In the album's called Primal Park. I'd call this Toughen Up, aka the Gimp. So,
Cool cover.
Bring out the Gimp.
Yeah.
Cool band. Check them out. Mondo Rock.
Huh.
The Johnnies. This band, Australian band, so Hoodoo Gurus meets the Ramones, and the album's called Highlights of a Dangerous Life. I would call it There's Going to Be a Showdown.
Nice.
That's one of the songs of the album.
Yeah.
And finishing up with Joe Jackson, Laughter and Lust. I just call it Oh Well, which is his Fleetwood Mac cover, which was the single of this album.
Yeah.
And that's my 4.
That's kind of weird, that cover, with the text being so huge like that, right? It's like, oh, we have
Hate
no
it.
idea what's going to go. Yeah, it's strange. It's another
He
one where
usually, he does really tasty album covers, but this one is just a misfire. And I can understand why it didn't do so well, this album.
Yeah, that's a terrible cover. Yeah. All right, Grant, final 4.
Guitar Hacks here, ladies and gentlemen. Guitar
Nice.
Hack, nice to see you.
All
West
right.
Coast Dave's here. West Coast Dave, nice to see you. Kiefer's here. Everybody's here. Let's keep going. Hopefully I can get through this. Pray, everybody. Pray. All right. I did Guns N' Roses. All right, let's do Fleetwood Mac. What would you call this? Got Stevie on there. It's kind of golden colored on the front. How about Gold Dust Woman?
Nice.
I think Rumors is better, but you could still get away with Gold Dust Woman, I'd say. I think it fits.
Plus, you don't want to mess with success. That record sold a few copies, I hear. So, you don't want to.
Stores can't keep it in.
Rumors. Yeah,
it's one of those records that used record stores can't keep in stock.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yep. All right, this one you might. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of this record or this band, but Metallica Master of Puppets. I'm going to go with Disposable Heroes.
Nice.
Like,
I never liked that
but
title. It's apparently the greatest heavy metal album of all time, but it's kind of a strange title. It's weird having puppets in the title of an epic thrash album. Puppets. It's strange. Oh, we've lost Grant, so we don't know what his final 2 are going to be. Can we guess?
7, 6.
Time to check the comments.
4, 3.
Yeah.
It'll be the death of me.
Oh, there he is. All right, next one.
So Disposable Heroes, that's what I'm going with. All right. My next one. This was already brought up. I think Jan brought it up. I don't know. Someone brought it up. Queen News of the World, but we're going to go with All Dead, because obviously, if you've seen the cover, I don't know how many the people. Well, the band. I'm assuming that's the band being crushed to death.
But you can't call it that, Grant, because they're always going to screw up. Do we put a comma in it, or do we not put a comma in it?
Then it's not very marketable either. But
I know, but it would work
with a period and how many S's and
considering how much crap Queen got in the 70s, You
Yeah.
wouldn't want to call it all dead, all dead.
Plus, it's negative too, right? I mean, the manager's saying, "Oh, this is gonna kill our career." It's just it's showing that we're done for, kind of thing, right? So, all right, he's coming back.
I'm
There he is.
jump off a building any moment.
They could have called it sheer heart attack.
Let me see if I can get through it.
Yeah.
XTC Skylarking. Now we know this is like a song cycle. This is like a concept record. It's about the seasons. Why don't we call it Summer's Cauldron? Because it's
Nice.
kind of earthy. You know, you've got the guy playing
Yeah.
and the woman there, and I don't know, Summer's Cauldron has a nice sound to it. Better than Skylarking, I'd say.
Boy, now that you focus us on this album cover, it really was a crap album cover, right? You know, for probably their best album. I mean, it's one of their very best albums, right? It's definitely not a great cover.
Yeah,
But,
you know.
all right,
we could
Grant,
go
while
with
we have you, wrap it up.
All right, everybody, let's wrap this dog up. Thanks for coming on. This was a short and sweet show, but God, it could explode at any moment. We do want to thank everybody for coming. Please like, subscribe. We have a Ko-fi. Please buy us a pint or a cup of coffee if you'd like to support us that way, or a Patreon. We'd love to have you. If you'd like to be on these panels, we would love to have you. It's always about talking music here. It's also about turning you on to stuff. Hopefully you saw some albums here tonight that you might want to turn on and check out. Other than that, I think we can wrap this dog up because it might not ever wrap up if we don't wrap it up now.
All right. We'll see ya.
All right, everybody. We'll see you. Keep it real, and we'll see you on the next one.